Hello and welcome to the Mix Air Rap Podcast. I'm your host, DJ B Wise. This is a podcast where we talk about hip hop from boom bap to trap. We at it again, people. We hope everybody's summer is going well. You know, I got my man Kev in the building, the backpack underground legend with all the info on the underground scene. You know me as the DJ. I get out there in these streets. I'm the house DJ. I'm the cookout DJ. You name it, we got it. We're gonna check out how things have been going in hip hop in 2024 since we're at the halfway point. All right, let's holler at our boy Kev. See how he feeling tonight. Kev, how you feeling?
Oh, fantastic, man. So excited, to be back and hopefully we can give the people something they want.
Appreciate you on that. You see how I pulled the mic out so you can really get that bass in your ear. Definitely got to show some love with our banners so we can let everybody know where we are. You can check us out on all social medias. And then don't forget to like and subscribe.
I guess my first question to you could be album of the year so far, man. Your
I don't
favorite
know
album
about
so far?
I
Your
don't know
favorite?
about that. I'm not gonna give him album of the year yet. It's
Well, I'm just saying so far. Just so far. What is your favorite album so far?
my favorite album so far, Set the Tone, Ghostface.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think this is a good contender. Um I've been flipping back and forth between this one and the Rhapsody album.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I'm kind of back and forth with these two. Granted that this Lupe is so new, it's kind of hard to put in that category yet, but I really don't see it really falling off like that though.
Yeah, I've been sitting
I
with it
just
as
don't.
well.
Yeah, yeah. We I mean, let's say this though, right? So let me say this has been a year of I hate to say this because I don't want to sound negative, but diss records and beefing has kind of controlled rap music for the first half of the year, right? And you know, outside of that one incident at Drake's house, we really it's been all about the music, you know what I'm saying? The back and forth is all about the music. These cats ain't out here at no award shows pressing each other or running up on them on the video shoots. They rarely taking it to social media, which is great overall. I think that, you know, part of me wishes that they were more I don't want to say beef records, but I wish it was more aggressive songs, if that makes sense.
It definitely makes sense.
Yeah. I wish it was more aggression. I think well I'll say this. The two well, I'll make another comment later, but I think the two biggest things that stood out to me is that the Sexy Red, man, like her rise. I think it's so many people try to put her in that category of other people, but I think Sexy Red is an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? I was telling I like me and my daughter had a conversation about that. I was like, Sexy Red is not a one hit wonder. She doesn't have a look that sets her apart from anybody, but at the same time, it's like every time she comes out, she can make one or two hits that's going to travel far, and um I'm so shocked that she's been able to ride, keep elevating. And I think that, I think we get into a point now with, some of the people's opinions is that um they got to find new criticism of her. You know what I'm saying? Keep saying that she's a industry plant is getting old because I mean, Pound Town was some yeah, it was disgusting, but outside of Pound Town, her other songs have turned into anthems that wasn't about sex at all. So it's going to be interesting to see how she closes the year out, and then I think the last half of the year is going to set the tone for her next year. And if her and her team keep doing what they're doing now, I think Sexy Red could legitimately be a top 3 female rapper next year.
Again, I'm with you. I don't see enough balance, and she makes it even worse as far as the unbalancing. So as much as I thought that Megan's album had had was very similar to Sexy's album, I now think that Cardi's album is going to be very close to what Sexy's done. So what most record companies are doing over the last 15, 20 years has been whatever's hot, do the same thing with whatever artist you have signed to you. But don't change it up. Just keep putting out the same stuff over and over and over. And we're 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 going to see the demise of hip hop because of that. Let me
I
give
don't
you
think so. I
let
really
me
don't think so, man.
let me give you some statistics. Fastest growing music genre today on streams, because we got to go by streams. The fastest growing country music had a 23% jump last in the last recorded year. Uh,
You
Last
said
year,
quarter or recorded?
so the last recorded year was 2022. They haven't come out with the full numbers for
Okay.
2023 yet, but they're looking at 2023 as they had over 15.8 billion streams. Country did. Okay, it is the fastest. It is going to overtake rap very soon if it hasn't already done it for 2023. They're predicting that it did. It overtook rap in 2023. The next statistics, the next largest percentage of streamed music in the world is world music slash Afrobeats. It had a 22% increase in the amount of streams. It had 15.1 billion streams in 2022. So they haven't put the numbers out. I'm looking here on Al Jazeera. I mean, there's so many. There's so many platforms that are talking about this. Oh, I'm sorry. I said 15. It was 13 billion streams for Afrobeats in 2022. Al Jazeera is Al Jazeera. We're talking about a news platform, right? It's talking about Afrobeats being Africa's largest export over gold, over precious metals. It is Afrobeats, the music that's making the country more money than the precious metals. You guys got it. I'm begging everyone to take a look at this. We're headed in a direction where people don't want their children to be taken over by music is so degrading at this point. I know we think it's an expression and you can express yourself any way you want to, but sooner or later parents are going to get tired of listening to these and they don't want their kids to listen to this stuff. And what then happens, we are a world or a country that swings left and right heavy. We don't really hang in the middle. So usually when there's something like what's going on in rap right now, where there's so much negativity, so much degradation, that's going to get pushed hard to the wayside. Okay, and they'll still use it as a minstrel show, but in general, the majority of people are going to listen to Afro beats, and R&B's dead. So it's either going to be Afro beats or country, where the majority of streams are going to come from in the next few years if rap doesn't change up. And I don't even know if record companies want rap to switch up. Kev, I sent you a link to the guy from Bone Thugs and Harmony that was on TV talking about this
Yeah.
record. I would love for everybody to check that out. We're going to post that on our social media this week coming up. But y'all got to take a listen to it. There is a plan going on. know, if you guys haven't heard of the 2025 plan for, me getting on my politics thing that the conservative people have for us, check out some things. There's some things going on that we're not paying attention to. We're just
But
trying to fly.
I get that. I get that. And I think that, with so much information coming out and how there's so many different avenues to gain information, this is my personal opinion. I don't believe in conspiracy theories anymore. I kind of take, these statements or these theories, and I'm like, they get okay. I think some of it is true. I just got to decipher what's true or not. But I think it goes back to the fans. The fans spend the money. The fans they buy tickets to the shows. The fans, they stream about 60% of the music. The record label stream the other 40%. So, like, you threw up those numbers and you said it was from 2022. Yeah, 2022 country music was the hottest thing going. They had three legit stars in 22, but I'm almost sure in 23 those numbers are going to dip because those stars that they had, it's a long story, but I don't know if those numbers of country music numbers are going to rise. The country numbers
We're
in
actually
22,
going through the sky. I just looked up Shabuzi. Shabuzi
yes,
is well over 15 million streams of his song. Well over 15 million and headed towards 20-25 million in the next week or two. I'm
but
telling you, you
he's
don't have
he's
to
a he's a
believe
20,
the numbers are
but a
there.
lot of that is 24 though. A lot of people did a lot of he didn't really go national until 24, and there's people who say that if it wasn't for Beyonce, a lot of people wouldn't know him, which is not true at all, but it is somewhat of a ignorance, and I hate to use a word that strongly, but it's an ignorance. It's an ignorance. It's like it's people that uh uh it's who was it? Remember when 50 Cent and Lupe they didn't have a beef, but they had a discussion on um lyricism. Like
Yeah,
how 50 said that Nas was too complicated, and Lupe was like, "Nah, that's the way it should be, right?"
exactly.
And you know, Lupe was speaking for a certain group of people, but 50 was speaking for a certain group of people. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And listening to music, it feels like it can feel like a job or a chore to some people. Like some people just want to listen to get some sort of enjoyment. They don't want to have to listen to hear the lyrics. They don't want to have to listen to fact check something later on. You know what I mean? So it's so hard today. You know what I mean? It's like it's so hard because I think that the levels of the music listener are actually decreasing, and that's not just in rap. That's across the board. Like, let's take jazz for instance. Man, it's some jazz artists that been playing, since the '90s, right? They listen to today's jazz and they're like, "What is this? This is not the jazz I grew up on. This is not the jazz of my ancestors." The rappers say the same thing. You
No,
you
no, no,
Yes, they
no.
do. Yeah,
I
I've
just
heard it.
saw Alex Bouillon do a interview this morning, and he was so proud of what was going on in jazz right now. And Alex
That's
Bouillon,
one
he's been
person though.
around a long time. He's one
That's
of the
one
biggest
person though.
guys. He's one of the biggest guys in jazz over the last 25 years.
I've heard some jazz musicians that took a crap on today's jazz. But but what I'm saying is the point. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on jazz. I'm just saying, like, across the board. in R&B, there are older R&B singers that's like, what is this stuff they doing now? It's
That's
not
true.
R. It's not R&B anymore.
That's true.
In country, you saw the fight with Beyonce. Shabuzi, like you just named Shabuzi. Shabuzi been out for a couple years. They didn't really promote him like that. And look at him now. What's the group? What is it? War and Peace or Treaty something? War and Treaty or something?
No, I'm not for sure what you're talking about.
It's Tanya Blunt and her husband. They are in a country duo.
Okay.
They've been singing forever country music. It took for them to get some recognition before they got even accepted in country music. It happens. Good quality artists get lost in the shuffle, and just like the Bone Thugs was saying that there are agendas. Yes, there are agendas to hide certain artists and to promote other artists. But just like that War Treaty duo, Tanya Blunt is an amazing singer, man. Amazing singer. She when she first really got her stardom in Sister Act, there were people that said she was a better singer than Lauryn Hill. And here's this woman with this amazing voice, and she can't get no love in country music? Really? It ain't that many great country singers, to be honest with you. But it took the fans to put that focus and attention on her and her husband for them to get that recognition. And that's what it takes. It has to take the people will have to say they want something different for rap to change. And it's surprisingly that, you know, the biggest rap song of the year could be a turning point.
Let me jump in and just give a few things, few statistics uh, for 2023. The biggest concert tours for 2023. And we can go to any year you want to over the past 4 years since 2020, since pandemic, since we came back from the pandemic. Taylor Swift, 1.3 billion. Beyonce, uh, 879 million. Bruce Springsteen, 379 million. Harry Styles, 290. Morgan Wallen, 284. Pink, 230. Then we get to the weekend, still top 40, 220 million. And lastly, Drake, 184. If you want to, we can look up 2022 as well.
No, I mean, okay. What's
What
the
I'm
point
saying
you're trying to make?
is, we can make assumptions because of past numbers, but the numbers are showing that we're losing our tracking. I think
I
2024, because of the beef, our numbers may have a spike because of the streams that K Dot is getting right now. Because of the streams during the beef, we might have a spike in rap. But overall, we got to see what happens later in the year. As
I
far as
mean,
tour
but
concerned, too, we need to see who won the tour thing. You got to
but
see.
at the end of the day, rap numbers haven't always been that great, to be honest. Let's be honest. Rap numbers haven't always been that great. Um, for a hip hop act to be in the top 10 as far as tour sales is phenomenal, and it always it's like when you look at tour sales, you're looking at pop, you're looking at country, you're looking at in rock bands, and at least half of those tour numbers are veterans or like older artists within a certain genre of music. So Drake falling in the top 10, I think is great, but at the same time, there are people who look at Drake as being pop and not rap. Rap doesn't generate numbers like that on tour sales. Rappers, well, I'll take that back. Rappers don't sell out super big arenas. Rappers at the average successful rapper might could sell out an 8,000 seat arena, maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's a select few that can do 20,000 plus, right?
Correct.
I mean, it's Megan.
I wouldn't say Megan. I say Nikki.
What Nikki's been doing it. Nikki's touring by herself. She's doing it. Uh, Megan and Cardi, as popular as they are, I don't know. Well, let me roll my point back. There are not many rap acts that can do a show by themselves that sell 20,000. Drake, Nicki,
That's it.
maybe Kendrick. Kendrick now, yes. Kendrick before They Not Like Us, Kendrick was a no. Um, yeah. So it's like two. Jay Z three, Kanye four, Jay Z and Kanye four. Um,
Then you can put K Dot in next.
Little Wayne five. I put Little Wayne five. Eminem would jump to two or three, so that's at least six. I mean, since okay, we could throw Kendrick in there because of the song now, so that's seven. That's seven. Um, Cardi's she gonna need an opening act. Meg is gonna need an opening act, which she has with Glorilla. Um, but yeah, rap numbers have always been like that, always.
And that's what
Unless
I'm saying.
outside of a special event, rap numbers have never, ticket sales have never been like that because I think a good number of rap fans throughout the years enjoy the intimacy of smaller venues where you felt like a part of the show instead of the show dictating how you should respond. And I think that it's different. A live concert is different. A live concert is different. Live concert in huge arenas is like night and day compared to a smaller arena. So yeah, it's different, man. It's so different. I think rap fans love the smaller arenas because it makes you feel like you're part of the show instead of you sitting back enjoying it. So it's I get the numbers, but numbers can be jaded. Numbers can be jaded though.
Again, and that's why I'm saying if we're not going to trust concert numbers, we shouldn't be trusting streaming numbers. But if you look
We
at the
shouldn't.
streaming numbers, we're losing in streaming numbers too. Our streaming numbers are down. They're down. They're not
But
what they were. They,
I mean it depends on I think it depends on what study you're looking at because there have been other studies that say all streaming numbers are down because right now you do have artists excuse me, you do have artists that are trying to take more control over their career and they're pulling stuff off of streaming services because they're not getting paid what they think they should get paid. So it's it's not to say these numbers are not important, but there's also another side to these stories. And it's just, we don't have a lot of what's going on. It's like there's really no criteria as to how do we judge or how do we properly um figure out solutions or to say here here's the standard, go by this standard when you make your opinion or your judgments or whatever. So I don't know.
and again, I'm totally with you. And I'm trying to be as fair as possible. I'm going to multiple sites. And yes, hip hop is still considered. And you got to thank the reason why you got to thank Drake, Post Malone,
Oh man,
the
we still
ladies.
calling him rap.
he still falls under it. I'm looking here.
Okay.
He's, those are our Kanye, those top artists that you named. You got to thank them, because if it wasn't for them, the rap would not be near where it is. So they combine hip
Yeah,
hop and
French Montana too.
that's what I'm saying. But they
I don't know
combine,
how he get numbers like that.
I get you, but they combine hip hop with pop because the artists, like the ones you named, Nicki, Drake, Eminem, Post Malone, French Montana, they all kind of lean more towards, pop. They're not really, you wouldn't really call them heavy rap. So that's why I'm saying that if we don't pay attention and keep paying attention, because those artists aren't going to be around forever. I don't think that Nicki's going to keep making music till she to the end of time. She's getting up there. Her and Drake are getting in that age range. They're both what, 37. So are we expecting them to have the same pool in their 40s that they have in their 30s? I don't think so. I think that there's going to come a time when those artists and the artists coming behind them are not going to garnish the same type of respect, because these artists, like Sexy Red, like Cardi B, if Cardi B's album is not more pop, Megan, they're not going to be selling those numbers that these other artists have. Every artist you name, Nicki's got a portfolio of songs that are very pop friendly. We know Drake has a portfolio of songs that are pop friendly. That's my only argument, that Sexy Red, Cardi B, Megan at this point, Glorilla, Ice Spice, as hot as they are in our community, they're not that hot worldwide. Worldwide,
I mean,
most adults want to hear music that they can play for their grandmother and music they can play for their child.
yes, I'll give you that. I think that the American audience is the American audience can seem very delusional, and it is something that's very problematic. Um, but it's just so difficult to really and what can happen next. So I mean, but one of the things I think this year so far has showed us is that um there is an audience for there is an audience for balance, right?
For
And I
sure.
think and I think that I just think that we need more podcasters, and we need more vloggers and rap media to push this balance agenda for it to really really sink in, because and we need the young people. The young people kind of set the culture. They set the culture, they set the trends. And if the young people are not talking about balance, who the hell knows where it's going to go? So we need the young people to really want balance. They want more, as opposed to them going to these indie shows, or they listen to these. I don't even know if there's such a thing as a SoundCloud rapper anymore, to be honest with you. But the kids, or the younger people, they go out to these shows of these artists that don't get a lot of streams, but these artists are making damn good money because they're on the indie scene. They're their own promoters, they're their own managers, they're their own producers, and they can sell out 1,000-seat arena, and they don't have to pay nobody else. Every all whatever they negotiate, that price, all that money goes into their pocket. So yeah, we just have to see. We just have to see. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's move on to another topic, man.
Yeah.
Song of the year for you so far?
Song of the year? Oh
Yeah.
man. Um,
Oh, okay. What's some of your favorites then? How about that?
oh man. I was really going with albums. You
Right.
know, I love the Jay Critch album. I couldn't. I didn't pick specific songs out there. I will say,
Okay.
hey, I give you the Joyner Lucas and Jelly Rolls song from
Okay.
Joyner Lucas's last album. That I enjoyed. That is probably something I listen to a lot right now. Album wise, I'm listening to. I for some reason I keep going back to the Ghostface Killer album. You know,
Okay.
I think Lupe after this week may take that spot. But I also been listening to the J Cole. Might delete later. Um,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Mozzie's projects. I've been listening to Mozzie's project as well, you know. And sadly, in the morning, if I need a little giddy up, I listen to French Montana's project.
Really.
Mac and Cheese 5, man, it's got songs on there that'll get you going, you know.
Oh man. Man. I'm still yeah, Flow Rider. French Montana kind of adapting that Flow Rider model has been amazing to me, man, because I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And he does have some songs on that mac and cheese five, but I still just don't see it, man. I still just don't see it, man. Um, I think that for me, I think the song of the year so far, obviously, is Kendrick Lamar's.
Not like us.
They not like us. I mean, I think that's just like an obvious. And I was so indecisive about the Drake and Kendrick beef. I will go ahead and stamp it now and say Kendrick definitely beat Drake. I'm not gonna give a margin, but I'll say Kendrick won. Um, I'll even say I believe They Not Like Us is a legit claim to put Kendrick in the top five.
It depends, man. I get a lot of. So I'm now coming to the realization that every generation wants their person to be great, their person from their era to be great.
Right.
Um, I think our generation, my generation, the Xers, we're the last generation that understood greatness for what it was. Like when we were told that Dr. J was great, Dr. J was great until we saw something different. So going into the '80s, when they said, Magic and Bird were great, to that's not my era. Those aren't my. Those are from other. They're from the '70s. They're the people who follow them are our parents. So I was like, all right, they're great. But then we saw Michael Jordan and his feet, and we were like, he is the greatest. And I think every generation since then, they don't want their generation to not be great. So we're forcing ourselves to put people in these spaces, whether they earned it or not. And
I
I get
I could
everybody
give you that. I could
saying,
give you that. I'll
I
give you
get,
that.
well, let me just finish on the K Dot. I know everybody wants to say K Dot's got, he won the Pulitzer and he's got these great social albums that people really like. I will put Illmatic, Stillmatic, and Reasonable Doubt against his entire catalog, and I still say that those three songs, those three albums. Oh, and then let me not forget Ready to Die in there, or Get Rich or Die Trying. I put all of those albums up against his entire collection, and they're just not as good. And I'll say the same thing for Drake. As much as everybody wants to make Drake this juggernaut, his music is not as good as the stuff from the past. As much as we want to say that, I was just in an experiment about 2 weeks ago where a crowd of us chose songs from artists that we thought were relevant. We gave our top five and we had to pick music from those top five artists and play that music and get the overall appreciation for the song. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of the younger artists, their songs are not timeless. And there were people that were like, "Oh man, you know what? I forgot about this. I heard my mom play this," because it was different ages of us. I think we had 60-year-olds, 50. Yeah, it was a wide gamut of us, and there was several 20 somethings that were there, and some 30-year-olds. So it was a quite an interesting experiment, and it really showed me as well as other people. That's when I figured it out, because as they were listening to the music, their artists were losing, or not losing. Let me not say losing. Their artists weren't getting the amount of traction that these older songs were getting, and some of the songs were from artists from the early 2000s. Jay Z, some of his stuff, even it was Jay Z, a couple other artists, but I can't call everybody off the top of my head. But the 80s and 90s era, those songs, and the early 2000s, those songs reigned over a lot of the stuff from the earlier. I think somebody played a Gunna song because he was in their top five. Somebody played another song from somebody. I was like, it just didn't move the needle the way that the other songs moved the needle. And it is what it is. And I'm just saying now, I really believe after that night, because they kept fighting for the artist. And I'm starting to, at some point, I got to respect that you just want, LeBron is the greatest for that generation. They want to, this word GOAT has been out here in the ether forever. And I just say, why not just say he's the greatest of your era? That it's hard to gauge what each person believes is the greatest. So I'm just gonna say,
I no, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say that's what my realization is that we're in a space where K Dot, this generation wants him to be great. The other the other people who are lazy listeners is what I call them. They want Drake to be the greatest, and I just don't know if either of them are as great as their predecessors. I don't know. I don't see it.
I mean, but I think it's a point I've made many times is that Kendrick didn't have that one song that moved the needle, and now he has it. Now, granted, it's one song, but what that song has been doing for these past couple of months is phenomenal in this day and age because we are a very microwave society. You know what I mean? Like hit records, you lucky if it lasts 3 weeks. You know, so in today's society, to have a hit record still going, um, you have a record now that many people are calling the song of the summer, and having a summer jam in rap is a great achievement. And this song came out before the summer, and the reason I totally agree with all your points, and I don't want to sound like I'm disagreeing with you, but I think there's also anomalies. So like you brought up LeBron James, right? And yeah, and just like you said, greatest of his era, but he's not great to other people. LeBron James is an anomaly, right? He's a bigger anomaly than Michael Jordan, and I know that people are going to disagree with that. He's LeBron is on another level. Now, do I think Kendrick, you said Jay, you said Nas, you said Biggie. Those three came out and was considered the greatest decade in all of rap history. Some people call the 90s the greatest decade in rap history. So and it's hard to say if Kendrick could have been a star in the 90s, and I'm not going to say that, but Kendrick has Good Kid, Mad City. I know you don't care for it that much, but the story that was told on Good Kid, Mad City is reminiscent of the 80s, is reminiscent of the 90s, and he did this what in the 2010s to create an album in the 2010s that takes you back to the early stages. I think he deserves credit for that. Um, To
He
Pimp a
definitely
Butterfly, huh?
he definitely does.
I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Pimp a Butterfly or Damn, but I know that during this pandemic, the young people that was out here marching, they took "We're Gonna Be All Right." I think they took another song from him too that they use as chants and anthems, and that's a thing. Like when you could create an anthem that could transcend different places. So just not, so saying outside of your neighborhood, where you took it to a protest march or your song, is something he deserves credit for. And Kendrick has little things that you can put on him. I mean, as a older fan, but I mean overall, um, I don't think it's just the young people with Kendrick because like when Mr. Morale came out, the young people said how great the album was, but it was a lot of over 40s that said that album was great. And I'm looking at and I looked and we did Mr. Morale. We did the
Yep.
review. And we're like, what
Yep.
the hell is these people listening to?
Yep.
What the hell are these old people our age? What are they listening to? Because we're now listening to the same thing. So is it possible that some of the older fans are kind of buying into what the younger people are going through? Yes. Is it possible that some of the older fans are tired of being negative? Yes. It is so many different things that you can say as far as the old and the young. Is Kendrick Lamar an anomaly? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I will say this: Illmatic is when you look at so many people and their list of great rap albums, Illmatic is going to be on one or two on the majority of the list, and Nas is an anomaly. Illmatic is an anomaly. I can't compare Kendrick to Nas in no format. Not just That's not just my opinion. I'm just saying just based off the opinion of others. The way people talk about Illmatic in 2024 like it just came out last week. They still Illmatic came out in what, 93, 94,
93.
31 years ago. They're talking about an album that came out 31 years ago like it just came out. Kendrick Does Kendrick have that? No. No. It's nothing against him, but I think that what he was able to do with the Drake beef, and then Not Like Us, I think I pushed him into a stratosphere that he I think he leaped over Lil Wayne. I
I
think
hope
he
so.
leaped Lil Wayne. I think he leaped Lil Wayne. I think that I think right now Kendrick is top 5 right now all time.
Again, I hope so. I hope so. I just, again, each person's top five is their own.
I
I
mean, but
appreciate.
not no, no, I'm not saying my personal 5 because
Mhm.
we've had the top 5 discussion. I don't think that, and for anybody that doesn't know, I personally believe that if you don't have two top 5s, you're doing yourself a disservice. You have your personal 5, but you got to be real, man. You got to have a 5 that includes the actual 5 best. Like Eminem is not in my top 5, but I think he's honestly the second best rapper of all time.
Again, we you have the metrics for music after a certain point is so it's tough, and I don't want to jump into that
Yeah, yeah,
rabbit
yeah, 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 yeah. But
because that can go on for hours.
yes,
Uh, I will say this: K. Dot has changed the course of balance, and that if his album that he's supposed to be dropping this year is as has at least two slaps on it. If it's got two slaps on it, he changes the balance. But if he doesn't, if he puts out a Mr. Morale and the High Stepper, if he puts out a Damn or To Pimp a Butterfly, he will go back into his underground. Just the hardcore lovers of hip hop are going to follow him, and and he will continue to be, So again, we talked about Nas. Same thing with Nas. Nas is the rapper's best rapper. He's not sales wise the best rapper. If
No,
we go by the
no,
sales wise best
no.
rapper, it goes Eminem, Drake are the best two rappers. That's how it rolls.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are the best two rappers. And then behind that, you'd be very angry if I told you to other people Kanye's in there, Jay is in there, and the fifth artist would make you upset. So I'm not gonna.
Who? Who is it? Who is it?
Are you gonna go group or are you gonna go single rapper?
I mean, if we're going group, then Drake is not number two.
Yes, if we go group, Drake is number two.
No, if you go group, Drake is not number two. It's the Beastie Boys.
No, so he's eclipsed their numbers.
I don't think so, man. The Beastie Boys got at least 3 diamond albums.
Yes, but
I don't think
again,
Drake has more than two. I
but
could
if
be
you
wrong on that. Oh, you know
if
what? You know what? Let me
you
stop. Let me stop.
yeah, you got
I
to count the streams the
Their
way they are.
numbers are close. Their numbers are
Hmm.
close.
Yes,
Well, who's number five then?
Post Malone.
Ah, I can see that. I can see that.
It's
I can
hey,
see that.
if you're going by sales, we're going by sales.
I can see that. I can see that. It's not upsetting, but it's just like you said earlier. These artists that started off as rappers and then they transitioned into other forms of music, they're still considered rappers, even though they don't rap anymore. Um, yeah, but I mean, overall, what are your thoughts on the first half of 2024 rap
I,
wise?
I am very hopeful. What Kendrick Lamar and Drake just did changed the game. They made J. Cole make a fun album. His album was fun, even though it's not getting near the appreciation that it should. But if you check that album out, it's a better album than his last album, and I think that matters. And I'm gonna let you answer this, but then I want you to finish off with I want you to pick your worst album and your most indifferent album as we sign out of here. And then I'll come back and say mine before we get out of here. But your worst album and your most indifferent album. That's an album that everybody else thought was just great, but you're indifferent on it. Like it is what it is. I know you got one, so go ahead and take it away.
I don't, and I'm gonna tell you why. I if it was bad, it got deleted, and it got deleted out of my list, and it got deleted off my mind. Like I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on Joyner Lucas. Did Joyner Lucas come out this year? I'm looking now. Yeah. No. Well. Um. Uh, well, see. I was gonna take a different approach with the joint with the indifferent comment. I was going to say indifferent for me is an album that I enjoyed that didn't get a lot of attention, but okay, I'll take that for Joyner Lucas. I can't give you a worse album, but I'll give you one that shocked me. It was oh god, I just had it up. It's little what is the hell is his name? It's little Harold 21 Little Harold. 21 Little Harold, Sick of Myself. I don't know why I enjoyed that album so much. It's not balanced at all. It fits into a lot of the Little Baby, Dub Baby, 21 Savage. He falls in that lane, but it was great. I still listen to, I still listen to bits and pieces now. Um yeah, man, but I'm just, I think 2024 so far has been it's been hope. Even though it's been very beef heavy, I think that the hope and the excitement that it has brung is so great. And um but like you said though, man, you got to follow it up. What's next? These are great songs, but are you going to give us a little bit more? You know what I mean? Like, um, look how long it took Kendrick to drop a video for "They Not Like Us," or uh, look how long it took for Meg to drop her album. Like, we can't have this no more, man. Stuff got. Even though we're in this, microwave society, we still need to know what's going on a little bit faster instead of sitting back waiting and guessing as to what you're going to do. But um I have so much hope for how this year is going to end. I think that it's going to end. I don't think it's going to be great as good as the first half of the year, but I think it's going to be able to make 2024 a year we're going to remember. It's going to be a year that's not going to be forgotten for a while. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. So me, I'm a little more ornery. I'm a man of a certain age, and for me, the project I did not like the most so far this year has been the Trippy Red genres and sad boys that he did with Machine Gun Kelly. I did not care for that project. Yeah, came out in March. Yeah, and I was not a fan of it. Next to that, I would put maybe Blueface, Free Blueface album. Blueface had an album this year called Free Blueface. Again, that's how bad these albums were. They were not noteworthy, and I know Trippy Red can do better. I'm not the greatest fan of him, but I know that he's had some stuff that's been pretty good. Okay, there you go.
Enjoy it got deleted from my mind. Like that as soon as I saw that cover, I was like, oh yeah, I listened to this. It was garbage. It was
And then
garbage.
the album I'm most indifferent of is Chief Keef's Dirty Nachos. I know
Really?
people liked it. I'm just I don't know what people see in him. He's
It
been
was well, I'll
beaten.
tell you this. It was old Chief Keef. It was Chief Keef right at his height. And that's why so many people liked it. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was that old Chief. He brung back his old self on that album, and I think that's what he needed to do in order to stay relevant. But yeah, if you don't like his music, you wasn't gonna like his album. So
I just think that at a certain point, you know me, my motto, growth, growth. You've had all this great success. You've made money. You got out of your circumstances. You've left Chicago. You're leading a different life. You're leading a different life. Is there really a reason to continue to promote the degradee that you had to grow up with when you're so far beyond that? You live in a mansion. You have people who cook for you. You have people who go to the store for you. There has to be more. It just can't be degradation after degradation after degradation. There has to be something more.
I,
And
I'll
I'll be the bad guy and keep saying it since other people don't want to say it.
I'll make this one last point on that.
Okay.
I'm a type of person that sometimes the music and the vibe can override the lyrics. and that's and like when I was listening to Chief Keef, I did so it got me so hyped that I could do all these chores around the house um in such a fast period of time, or and it was enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get that good album or that good playlist that it can motivate you to do certain things. That's what I felt with the Chief Keef. I could be totally honest with you. I have no idea what he talked about on the album, but enjoyed it so much that
Hmm.
it doesn't really matter to me. And I'll admit that. I'll admit that I'm like a whole bunch of rap fans out here today. Some young, some old, where it's the vibe or that, somewhat of that experience more than actual the content of the music, which yeah, man, it's a toss up. It's a toss up how, how do we categorize these people and where we put them at? Do I think I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Just like you said, Chief, he's done so much and he's elevated his lifestyle and his career. Is this really necessary? No, but it gets you hyped though, man. So I'll
No,
let it go.
no, I'm totally with you, and I respect everybody's opinion on this. I'm just saying, for me, and I'm the man of a certain age who listens to the lyrics and then goes to Genius and reads the lyrics, and I need to stop maybe, but I just that's where I'm at with it, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I again as a DJ. I've done high schools, I've done family reunions, I've done weddings, and all I can say is that the reason why I've started to curate who I will DJ for is because the music that people under the age of 35 want to hear is not the music that in these atmosphere other people want to hear. It's just not. And that weighs a lot on me. If I go and I do a high school party and the principal is like, here's a list of songs you can't play, that's problematic. And I don't think that we as listeners are taking that in. Again, I get the whole vibe thing. I've had to argue with other people about the vibe thing, and it is what it is. That's what you guys like, that's what you like. But my argument will always be I'm out there in the streets dealing with this, and there are people of a certain age who are still on the planet who are paying for these events, and they don't want that music at their events. Like I was doing
Yeah,
a wedding a few years ago, and there were younger people there and at the wedding, and they kept coming up asking me to play certain things. I got a message over to the bride and groom if they would like me to play these things. I do have them clean versions. And they were like, no, we don't want it played. So the people at the event were mad at me because they couldn't hear the music they wanted to hear, but I have to do the music for the people who are paying for it, if that
yeah,
makes any sense. And that's
yeah,
why I keep trying to tell people who are listening to this stuff, I'm like, it's great. Yeah, this is the soundtrack of your life, but this music is not gonna carry on. At a certain point, if you guys stay in that point where you just gotta hear Chief Keef in your 50s, then maybe that's you. God bless you.
yeah,
But most people age out of degradation. They
yeah,
age out of this trashy stuff. People get more mature, they have children, they become grandparents, whatever it may be. They don't want to hear certain types of music anymore. And that is my only argument based on where we're seeing music headed to. When everything that's on the radio or on streaming that's being promoted for rap is degradation or aggie or shooting or murdering, and you got these country guys coming out of nowhere, they got a nice slap to their song, and yes, they're just now starting to recognize black artists, but still, Morgan Wallen, these dudes are making music that you can tap your feet to, and I'm not a huge country fan, but matter of fact, I got a gig coming up where I'm gonna be doing this golf tournament, and I know that those people, they only want to hear country, and I'm cool with that because the country I'm playing, the clean version, the beat is nice. You know, it's not that old kind country. It's new age. It's got the same production value as R&B, pop, or rap. So I'm just leave it with that. And man, this was a very spirited, wonderful conversation. And I gave my indifferent. I'm sorry, and we talked through indifferent. And again, we really appreciate you guys for listening. Uh, we appreciate you hanging in there with us. We got a lot of things coming up. I'm trying to do a live show soon, and we're also bringing in some other guests, and we're also going to be on some other people's platforms as well. I'm trying to bring in some local artists too, and we'll see how that plays out. But man, we just appreciate everybody's effort to check us out and keep us going. Please tell a friend to tell a friend, and we're gonna let Kev give a shout before he gets out before we get out of here. Kev.
Thank you to the people. Thank you to just the rap fans, to the rap artists. I mean, just the culture of hip hop as a whole, man, for uh for keeping our passion just growing, and just amazement that is going on right now, that so many people try to steal or take away or adapt. But at the end of the day, man, what the saying goes, real recognizes real, man, and real fans know what it is. And I know at some point that the real will return. And my brother Be Wise over here, he can have a smile on his face when the real returns. So I mean, just keep up the good, keep hope alive, man, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to question anything. Just like he was saying, man. It's nothing wrong to transition into other topics, or to do a little something different. It's you got to experiment at some point. So yeah, man, just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and then share this, man. Comment, let us know we did good, we did bad, man. We appreciate it all. And we're going to catch you guys on the next episode. And Be Wise, how we gonna end this, man?
All right, my brother. I appreciate everybody again, and definitely check us out on social media. And you know how we get out of here. We do it the same way all the time. We appreciate you. We out of here. Peace.